I get so many letters saying blah, 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 which basically means I'm trying this, that, next thing. But I can't. It's so hard. It's so difficult. Blah, 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 blah. So I want to talk about this because this is really common. Now, the interesting thing about people who are sending me these letters is that they're all like in the best universities in the world. They're all like top students. They're all like studying, 12 hours a day, 15 hours a day, sacrificing their sleep, eating simply, and becoming very successful. And now they're talking about all the difficulty they're having in their spiritual life. And I think you get where I'm going with this. Somehow or other, we become lazy and we complain that spiritual life is difficult. Oh, it's so hard to control my senses, and it's hard to focus when I chant, and it's hard to get up early, and it's your whole list of this is difficult. Or my father would never let me use the word hard. Difficult. It is difficult. Difficult to do this, difficult to do that. And I'll just flip it back. Isn't it difficult to go to take all these elevated science classes you're taking, or math classes, or statistics classes, or physics? Is that like easy for you? And don't you have a lot of homework? And don't you have to study a lot in preparation for your final exams, for your papers? What to speak if you're doing a master's? What to speak of a PhD? Don't you have to put a lot of energy into that? Isn't it difficult? Don't sometimes you have to sacrifice? And don't you do that when you're working, and sometimes over hours, and they work you hard and difficult assignments? And the answer is, in many cases, yes. And the same people who are doing that are complaining that Krishna consciousness is difficult. Well, I think the best way to deal with this, and this is really important, is to acknowledge, yes, it is difficult. So now once you acknowledge it's difficult, then you realize, okay, I'm going to have to control myself. I'm going to have to do austerity. I'm going to have to push myself. I'm going to have to do things that I don't like doing because it's going to produce the result. I was once giving a lecture to a group of Indians in America, and Indians, I think, are the top, in the top one or two groups of people who have come to America who are top one or two most successful or most well. They look at success in terms of wealth, but they are extremely successful. Extremely successful. And here we are with all these successful Indians who are telling me, I can't really find time to chant more than one round. Of course, I'm thinking, I've chanted 16 rounds since I was 19 years old. And I'm like, yeah, right. You can't find time. I don't think so. I think something else is going on there. Or it's just so hard to follow the principles. I'm addicted to tea. I like onions and garlic and all these things. All right. Would you give all those up to get a job at Microsoft and make like $120,000 a year? Oh, yeah, I would. Okay. So that's what we're dealing with. The fact that we're willing to do these austerities for something material, and then we come to spiritual life and think, oh, it's so hard, and I just have the inclination, and I tried. Like, don't you care about your spiritual life? Don't you understand you've been conditioned for millions of lifetimes? Don't you understand it's going to require some effort? This is extremely important. We need to understand we're entering the ring with Maya. You can't just go, oh, it's just Maya, no problem. I'll just blow her over. No, she's going to fight. She's going to fight hard. You have to train. You have to practice. You have to do everything you did to become successful materially, and then more. And then you will not be complaining anymore. And then you won't be saying, Krishna consciousness, so hard, so difficult, I just don't feel like, I don't know if I can do it. Because you'll accept that's just the price you have to pay to do it. And once you accept that's the price, then it's like, okay, that's the price. You want to go to Vrindavan. right? You look up on the internet, what are the costs? What are the costs? What is the cost of the ticket? Or if you're going together, the cost of the tickets. Oh, it's COVID, the prices are high, there's hundreds of dollars more than they're normally. But I really want to go to Vrindavan, I really need to go to Vrindavan, you know, other devotees are there, etc., etc. You just pay the extra and just, you know, you just do it, you know, just somehow or other, you get the money and you do it because you really want to go. So if we're complaining that Krishna consciousness is difficult, maybe it just means that I don't really care that much, you know, to pay the price for it. But once you understand what you're getting, it's so valuable, it's so rare, it's so special, then it's like, okay, I'll pay any price. If I can go back to Godhead in this lifetime, why wouldn't I pay any price? Instead of saying, yeah, you know, you want to go back to Godhead? Yeah, you know, I want to go, but, you know, it's like so expensive. You know, why is it so expensive? And Prabhupada's saying, you are crazy. It's not expensive. 100,000 years of meditation and all you get is Vaikuntha in Satya Yuga, and you think, you know, 70 years of chanting, dancing, and eating bakors is expensive? What is wrong with you? That is a fact. That's what Prabhupada was telling us, not in those words. So we have to put everything in perspective, and then when it's in perspective, you will be willing to pay the price, do the austerity, be determined, do whatever you have to do to be Krishna conscious. Hare Krishna.